From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN Noon News.
Good afternoon, I'm Dianne Parker. Jason has our Wednesday forecast, plus we take you to the backcountry of the Bob Marshall Wilderness for an inside look at the pack mules who do all the heavy lifting. But first, our top story. We're learning more about what led to a black bear attacking a toddler in Red Lodge as the child slept in her tent. 3-year-old Madison Findley Dickinson is set to be released from a Billings hospital today, but her recovery continues. Wildlife officials say Madison was attacked by a female black bear over the weekend at Perry's RV Park and Campground. Fish, Wildlife and Parks immediately evacuated the campground as they looked to capture the bear. That bear was eventually caught and euthanized. Wildlife officials tell us they found unsecured attractants, including garbage, a cooler, and human food in and around the tent. The black bear had no history of conflicts, but was killed after it became food conditioned and too comfortable around humans in the area.
We always want to remind folks to store those items, that's everything from garbage to food to, scented toiletries, to store those in a hard-sided vehicle or other, certified bear-resistant container to make sure, to avoid instances like this where bears are, attracted to a tent because there are items with a scent in there.
FWP says there's always a risk the bear they killed was not the animal involved in the attack, but say based on bear tracks and other physical evidence found at the scene, they do believe the bear killed was the one involved in the attack. And in light of this tragedy, Madison's mom took to the internet to ask for help for mounting medical bills. A GoFundMe has now been set up in Madison's honor. Her mom says her precious daughter was attacked by the black bear while camping while she was asleep, and she says they will need help with medical and gas bills for their trip back home. She says her husband is starting a new job, so the family is in need of financial help for doctor visits. Wildlife safety is not always common knowledge here in Montana, and that is why one group is taking a wildlife safety education trailer on the road. Here's MTN's Megan Elaine.
Imagine this. You're on a peaceful walk in the woods when all of a sudden a bear comes charging at you. Luckily, the folks at the Wildlife Education Trailer are teaching people how to manage these tricky situations.
Perfect! I mean, the charging bear was unexpected. I thankfully have not had that experience in real life.
Caroline Levy grew up in New York City. Wildlife education wasn't particularly on her mind until she stopped by the Wildlife Education Trailer.
We're an all-encompassing education trailer here, so everyone from your first-time tourist to your long-time local like to try and provide something for everyone and really just trying to promote safety and the well-being of humans and wildlife in our landscape.
Jeff Kadri is Lone Mountain Land Company's environmental manager. Last summer, they launched the Mobile Wildlife Education Center and reached over 2,500 residents, tourists, and local workforce at the Big Sky Farmers Market. The biggest hit being the electronic charging bear that reaches speeds up to 25 miles per hour.
We're saying when you pull that safety off, this is your trigger, you push that down, you get the spray.
Last summer, they went through over 400 cans of training bear spray. Jeff tells me the bear attracts a crowd.
It's a big attraction. One person starts and then everyone just sees people going, and it really draws people in.
His biggest takeaway for wildlife safety?
I think the biggest piece of advice is give them space. The more space, the better. And then also be prepared. Think about what you would do in that scenario, and then always having your bear spray and making a lot of noise when you're out there so the wildlife knows that you're around.
Advice Caroline is thankful to have.
And so it's been great to have the opportunity to learn a little bit more about how to engage with the wildlife safely and enjoy recreating in a way that's safe both for them and for us.
And what's on the horizon for the education trailer?
Continuing outreach like this and finding other events that we can go to. This trailer is very versatile.
More information on the wildlife training can be found on our website. In Big Sky, Megan Elaine, MTN News.
Happy hump day, everybody. Hopefully been a good one for you so far. Local forecast coming up, but first, what's going on across the U.S.? I always like to start off things like that. Central and northern plains to the Midwest. Flash flooding and severe storm threat over the next couple of days. You can see right there in the central part of the state of the U.S. there, that yellow shaded area, Omaha, that's a slight risk. That's a better opportunity where we could see some of that wicked weather and maybe some tornado activity there. Southern plains, lower Mississippi Valley, Gulf Coast, potentially dangerous heat. Yeah, it's very hot. Some spots getting into the triple digits. Had a request about what's looking like with the wildfire smoke. We'll go more in depth with the forecast coming up, but right now the air quality, it is passable for most across the region. Those sensitive to smoke today, though, just monitor the air quality before you step outside. We'll take a look at that and full forecast coming up.
Remediation work is underway this summer at a historic mining district outside Helena. MTN's Jonathan Ambarian takes us to the upper 10 Mile Creek area that's been declared a Superfund site due to ongoing contamination.
I'm in the Minnehaha Creek drainage in the mountains west of Helena. And around 100 years ago in this area, the Pocahontas mine produced lead and zinc. And the waste products from that mine were left here on the hillside. Now, after all of that time, this contaminated dirt is being cleaned up.
When, the agencies, and the public and the contractors work together, we really can accomplish a lot.
The EPA secured funding for this phase of the work, and Montana DEQ is supervising the project. The leftover material from these mines still contains significant amounts of metal, and when water filters through, it can generate acidic drainage and leach metals into nearby creeks. The Minnehaha drainage includes around 40 former mine sites, and leaders identified 5 that contributed the most to metal loading downstream. That's where they're focusing their work.
They will certainly have a major impact on reducing the amount of zinc in both Minnehaha Creek and in Upper 10 Mile.
One long-term goal is that reducing zinc loading will improve condition for aquatic life. Contractors are using excavators to dig out the contaminated material. They're loading it onto trucks, and those trucks are carrying it about 12 miles to a secure, lined repository near the top of the divide.
There's an awful big mountain here and an awful lot of logistics as far as different haul routes and the amount of miles it takes to get this product to the repository.
Crews are also hauling material from near Highway 12 to the repository. Minnehaha Road is closed on weekdays through the end of the summer, so trucks can use it.
It's real uncomfortable for us to tell somebody they can't go up there. But the things that can happen if they do, you see the size of the trucks. They don't stop on a dime.
At the Pocahontas mine, there's about 4,000 tons of material to move. Crews will then bring in clean dirt and eventually recontour and revegetate.
There won't be a waste pile anymore.
Leaders hope to have all of this work in the Minnehaha drainage completed by the end of this year. In Lewis and Clark County, Jonathan Ambarian, MTN News.